What's going on, everyone? Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal. Today we are headed to a senior living facility to clean out a studio-sized apartment. It basically just has a queen bed, a couple pieces of furniture, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I actually gave a quote a couple of weeks ago. I just wrote it down on my phone because he wasn't there. During one of my tours I took when my networking group hosted a breakfast at the senior living facility. So when I took a tour, I was talking to each person in charge of each building, and that's where this job came from. They've sent me about 4 jobs so far, mainly mattress removals when people get hospital beds put in. So it's been a good little gig so far. So hopefully it goes as smoothly as I think it will. All right, we just weighed in at the dump, $25.20 for 1,200 pounds. I didn't drop off that dresser first because I'm going to try to sell that. I took pictures of it in the unit because it had a nice clear wall behind it. It would have cost me more gas to go to the storage unit and then come back here versus just the extra 80 pounds that it weighs. So it is what it is. That job took me like an hour, and I was even waiting for it to stop raining at the end, so it probably took me a little less. So overall, not too bad. He already paid with Zelle, so I don't have to worry about the processing fee. Everything went over pretty well. And that's the 5th time I've been at the storage unit. I went there for a networking group on January 6th or 7th. And since then, I think my first job was like on the 10th, and today's the 18th. I've been there 5 times. 3 of them were just for mattresses because they're getting hospital beds. 1 was a recliner, and then this one was like a little studio clean out. So pretty good turnout so far. I mean, if this continues all year, they'll become my new favorite people. Their staff is really nice. I can't deny that. Their staff is super nice. Um, but yeah, something I wanted to mention was for pricing, something I've experienced over time and I've learned not to do is to not itemize your jobs. So when you write up an estimate or you give somebody an invoice, try not to include the breakdowns of what you're charging them and why. Just try to give as few numbers as possible, because I think it either A, confuses people, or B, it makes it look like you're nickel and diming everything. And that's a turnoff for a lot of people. That's something I learned with the moving company. You would have a tablet that would show the breakdowns of the cost. So let's say you had like an $1,800 job. They would see, okay, labor, transport, blah, 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 materials. That was always a big one. Let's say materials were like $278. They'd be like, okay. And they'd carry on. But if they were to tap on that downward button and open it up, they're going to see, oh, they charged me $50 for tape. They charged me $40 for shrink wrap. They charged me $50 for that cardboard that they used to cover the glass on the China hutch that I got for free off of a curb. Like, I don't want to pay for all that crap. But if they just saw the bulk number, they're fine with it. But when they see like what you're charging them for and why, like, I think the fact that you have to pay $50 for tape, I think pisses more people off than the fact that they pay $300 for materials in general. So I've just learned over time that people don't necessarily want to see the breakdowns. Now, if you get somebody who asks, can you break down the price? Like if you get a hospital bill, if you ask for an itemized bill, that's usually a good way to fight, disputes and stuff. But for us, we're not fighting disputes. But if somebody asks for an itemized bill just because they want to have it, then of course you can sit there and go down the list. But something I try to do is I'll try to tack in certain surcharges into other prices versus having like 10 things listed. So for example, let's say we are going to do a 3rd-story apartment clean out, and I think it's going to be a full load, and we're going to have to bag up like, 30 bags worth of stuff. I charge $35 for every 10 bags that I fill up. That's to cover the time and the convenience of it and pay for the bags. So for me, that would be $105. My full load, let's just pretend is $600. So that's $705. Let's say I was going to tack in an extra $20 for the flight of stairs. So 2nd floor, 3rd floor, $10 each, $20. So now we're at $725. And then maybe you were to tack in an extra half hour of time, like for wiggle room, in case it takes you a little longer than you think it will, just to kind of cover yourself. And let's just say that's $45. So altogether, you're at $765. If I did my math right, I already started forgetting numbers. But if a customer sees, oh, you're charging me for like these 5 different things, versus you could take that surcharge for the stairs and just take that $20 and include it in your full price. So say, okay, my full load price is now $620 versus $600. But now that's one less item that they see on your invoice. And then you could take that extra time and maybe you split it up and maybe take like half of it and put it into your load. Take half of it and put it into the bagging fee. So now instead of charging $35 per set of 10 bags, maybe I charge $45. So now when they get the invoice, they only see 2 things. They see the volume and they see the bagging fee, which they can look around and say, yeah, they're going to have to bag up a lot of stuff. That's probably what that charge is for. Versus having 4 things listed, you only have 2. So I have found that to be helpful when I talk to people. And I always let them know. I'll just sit there and just start talking and be like, yeah, so I'm going to send you over an invoice. It's going to include the volume, any other little things we have to do. That price is going to include everything. The labor, taxes, fees, disposal, transport. Everything's going to be included so you don't have any hidden charges at the end. So I have found that to be helpful. If you don't have that problem, don't worry about it. Don't fix what isn't broken. But if you've ever had somebody say, oh, I didn't know you were going to charge me for having to go up the stairs, that's just something to keep in mind, and just find a way to factor it into your price so they don't even know about it. So something I just wanted to put out there. if it applies to you, hopefully it helps. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But that is it for me. We're gonna go to storage, bring a couple things home, and then I need to start my trailer build because I've been putting that thing off for 2 weeks. So that's gonna be it for me for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.